jako pierwszy wystąpi przed Państwem. Ja musiałem tutaj kilka razy to przeczytać, żeby to powtórzyć. Pablo Andres Rivera Cruz z firmy Gemalto.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for giving a try to my full name, which I know is quite difficult, quite long. So, I was requested this morning to talk to you about mobile payment and the different products, and specifically one product that we are preparing in Gemalto. But we decided that it's better to start by understanding what mobile payment is, not because we don't believe that anybody understands it, but more because we believe it's important that we understand from where we understand. So it's basically a transformation. This is something that everybody accepts, and I will try to go over a bit with the slides. So we came from a communication tool. Everybody had a phone. It became a little bit more interesting when we were able to take pictures, to put some videos there. And now we have a very powerful tool in our hands that can perform transactions, any kind of transaction, not only payment transactions, but any kind of transaction. The digital world where that device evolves is requesting more and more and more from our experiences. So we say, yes, the card holders need something. They want to withdraw money, they want to shop, they want to do many things, and they believe, well, that device should be there for that. There should be some kind of coherence on that experience. And whenever it is on the proximity payments, when you go to the POS, whenever it is what we call the remote payment, whenever it's on internet, it should be more or less on the same security, on the same phone. And the issuers need to have certain ownership, and they need to have certain independence. Because we have seen, as this morning was discussed, technology is there, technology have many constraints, technology have many advantages. But, and I was really motivated this morning, I'm very happy to see the speeches, to hear the speeches, because we understand now, the industry is understanding now, that the important thing is the user experience, is the user needs. Not only the card holders, the institutions, and the different elements of the technical ecosystem. So from where is coming this idea of payment with mobile? It's nothing else than a convergence. And finally, we heard that name. So we started with the cards, with the coins, we started to pay everywhere. Then the issuers started to say, well, we want to go into internet, mobile banking, mobile payment. And finally, because we have a device that is always online, and because we have needs for payment, we are getting to that point where, yes, we want to do it, but we don't know how. We know that the need is there, the technology is there, but then what we do? The payment is going number, that is clear. Everybody knows that. We started with a PC a long time ago, when I was a child, and now we are going into the mobile commerce. Mobile commerce is nothing else than exactly the same thing that we were doing in our PCs a few years ago, that we want to do it now in our portable devices, tablets, telephones, and things like that. So, in Gemalto, a few months back, a few years back now, we started to ask ourselves, why this thing is blocking? Why we started a long time ago to talk about mobile payment? Why did we start? And still it's not moving as fast as we wanted, as the whole industry wanted. So we decided, let's turn it around the other way. Let's not talk about technology. Let's talk about expectations, about value added, about this morning Frost and Sullivan, they were talking about that, and I was really happy to see that. Disappointed because I believe that we had something unique, and I realized that it's the consensus in the market now, but happy to see that. Because, well, the users, what do they want really? They just want to pay. They want to pay in the shops, they want to pay in internet, they want to pay and to have the feeling that they are paying securely and don't have the hassle of connecting, entering passwords, going there, going to the other side, then approve there, and then come back here. The retailers, what do they want? They just want a tool for merchandising, for remote and proximity payments. We see that mobile commerce is in some countries starting to be more important in volume and value than the proximity commerce. So yes, there is a need there, and that need cannot overcome the other need of proximity payments. And this big element that we try to coin together into the words issuers and federators. What do we call federators in our vision of the thing? We say, well, you know, the issuers are the banks, are the people where the real money is, where the real transaction is settled, where the old processes are still valid and need to be valid, because we are talking about wealth, we are talking about money, we are talking about the savings of some people, so it's not something to talk loosely. And then we have the federators. What are the federators? Those that somehow are trying to enter into the payment ecosystem as opposite to the technical ecosystem, in between the person who's doing the purchase and the financial institutions, the issuers. So we have people like PayPal. When you use PayPal, you have your banking account behind. Well, Bitcoins, no, I will not enter into the subject of Bitcoins. So all these elements in the payment ecosystem, all these actors, are important, and we need to understand what they want. They want just to provide value-added services, because we understand, and you will see in a later slide, that it's not anymore a question of payment, not only payment. If you do not put value-added services to that payment act, your payment instrument will not be more valuable for the final user than the plastic card. That's it. What was the value of the plastic card over the cash? Just to be able to carry an unlimited amount of money in my pocket. Simplicity. Not to carry a big bag of cash with me if I want to buy, I don't know, a very expensive and new jacket. That was the value added. So if you do not find a value added into payment with the mobile phone, users will never move into that. It's not a question of technology. Well, certainly at a certain point we will have to talk about technology, but it's basically that. So federators, they have a value there. Issuers, they have a value there. And issuers and federators, depending on the business model that they want to put, should find a solution to that question. Where is the value add? What are the extra services? We talk about couponing, merchandising, advertising, big data, understanding of purchase trends. All that is value. Find it on your solution, and it will fly. So 5D MNOs are moving fast, and I think it's important to touch this topic, because we have heard and we have seen over the last years MNOs, issuers, both together not working, both together working, one apart from the other not working, one apart of the other working. So certainly it's not on the mix that there is a problem, it's not on the installation that is the problem. So we need to understand both of them, MNOs and issuers. So what are the benefits for the MNOs? I have only 7 minutes, sorry. So obviously they want to increase their revenue. They want to be there, they want to provide that value-added services, and they want to increase their revenue from those value-added services. They want to increase the stickiness. There's something that MNOs fear like pest, is the churn. They don't want to see their customers moving to the next brand and the next brand. So they want to keep them. They want to improve the customer relationship. And that's pretty valid. Everybody wants to do that. My mother in her shop, she wants to do that. Perfect. Wonderful. Extend the market reach. There are many people that they were not reaching, and we are getting to a soil where they are not being able to motivate new population. If they can motivate them, that will be perfect for them. And differentiate. If they can differentiate from the next round, because they provide those value-added services, not because they provide payment, but because they provide those value-added services, it will be wonderful for them. They will be flying. They will be making money. So if we bring it back to this idea of the 3 elements of the payment ecosystem underneath, what is the benefit of the MNO? What is the value of the MNO there? It has a holistic technological view and solution that will help them to provide any inclusive service to the cardholders. What do I mean by holistic technological? They see the technical, they see the technology, they manage it, they handle it. That's their pure core business. Making sure that the technology behind has lower cost, richest, bigger people, has more time up. That's their value add. And that's where they see, well, if I have that whole chain, I can position on the value chain of the extra added service. That's what they have made with the MNOs, with the marketing providers. So why not? Valid. But why the issuers, the banks, should be there? So we have seen an evolution from online banking, SMS alerting, the applications that people started to download to see the balance of their accounts and so on. And everybody's dreaming, yes, in the future, we will be able to provide services. In the future, we will be able to provide payment. So we are somewhere in between those last two drops, and we are starting to realize what I was telling you. Mobile banking is not anymore about payment, and it's not enough. There should be value-added services there. You should have technological means, for sure, but if you do not find what your customers are expecting, is it couponing? Is it really couponing? Is direct marketing? If you do not find what they are expecting on top of the payment, this will not work. So, having said that, there is an important thing that banks have to bring to this payment ecosystem, and it's trust. We all know, because of the way banks manage money, because of the fact that banks have been the depository of the trust of the people for years, you have the trust of the people. Somebody was telling me in a certain discussion, well, but you know, we have seen the amount of cash increasing that banks provide to the cardholders is not to another payment instrument. It's not to another payment media, technological payment media, it's back to cash. So lack of trust will bring away the people for which you are trying to find those value-added services. So why issuers must go for mobile payment? Because you are part of the payment ecosystem. And I like a lot the presentation from Frost and Silva. Thank you very much for the introduction. Payment ecosystem is important. For years, we've been talking about technological ecosystem, the TSNs, the NFC-enabled devices, security elements. If you do not understand your payment ecosystem, if you do not see where your value added is, this will never fly. So, a contactless Poland, and I will try to read fast because you know this better than me, and because I don't have too much time, but I just want you to see how much effort you have already put into bringing this technology and these services to the customers, just to say, oof, I don't see where the future is, so I will wait and see. Poland today is the leader on this in Europe, and I will even dare say worldwide. So, yes, let's keep moving on that. So, transaction amounts and transaction value on Payway and PayPass. Wonderful. 14.8 million by January 2013. And those are all figures. We are already in December. The number of contactless cards is 70% of the amount of cards on the market. And the number of POS is increasing dramatically. We were at 44% by December 2012, and by the end of 2015, you are expected to have 200,000 contactless POS. Wonderful. The number of transactions for both schemes are increasing. So yes, it is flying contactless. Several technologies have been tried: wristbands, watches, iPhone sleeves, stickers. There are contactless ATMs. So you are working on the technology. You are working on the infrastructure. Wonderful. So let's get finally to the last point, the Gemalto one, if I dare to say. The reason why I was invited here, thank you. What is the MicroSD? And I will not talk about the product from Gemalto. I will talk about the MicroSD itself as technological advancement. It's nothing else than the same dual interface card that you have in your pockets. We already saw it. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, how many of you here do not have a contactless card? I know I have, yes. Wonder. But you are not in Poland. Anybody else? So if I tell you that today the technology is capable of bringing to you a dual interface card that instead of going into your pocket, goes into your mobile phone and can be issued in the very same way as you are used to issue. Those contactless cards, those dual interface cards are out of the pocket of everybody except one in this room. I think what I'm telling you is you can't keep doing business in the same way. You can't keep thinking about the extra value-added service that you can provide to those card holders. You can still keep using your same processes as today on issuance and focus on what you really should matter, the business. What are the value-added services? Not what are the technological constraints. That card is yours. That card is exactly just nothing else. I'm sorry for the English speaker, sorry, because my English is really bad there. Not only, and it will be exactly the same as the dual interface card. You do exactly the same, you issue the same way, you care about the same things. So yes, you have an antenna, yes, you have a controller, yes, you have a security element. It is yours. You decide what you do there. So what are the propositions that these kind of products have for you? It is now, it works now, it's certified, it's tested. Just get it and put it into an enabled telephone. What is an enabled telephone? Something that has a MicroSD slot and that can support the application. Nothing else. Take the lead. If you want to do this, you do not need complex ecosystems. It's the same card, just different form factor. So just take it in the simplest way. There are complex ways. It can be integrated in very complex ecosystems, maybe in the future, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 2 years. But if you want to do it simple, you can do it with this kind of products. And obviously, being the first one to do that, being the second one, being part of the way, will increase your brand awareness. For the end users, again, it is now. So I can use my current phone, even though if it's not NFC. I don't have to go and get an NFC phone, because the antenna and all the contactless capability is in the car. I have already exceeded my time. Sorry, I have promised I will not do it. It's trusted, because it's coming from an issuer. It's coming in the same way as the dual interface card that I'm already using is used to come. And at the end, it's nothing else than a banking architecture in a mobile world. Certainly, there are mobile architectures in the banking world that are valid. And coming back again to the user needs. If you have user needs where the mobile architecture in a banking world makes sense, that will be your answer. But if you have user needs and business constraints in terms of being an issuer, a banking architecture in a mobile world may make sense for you more than the other. So what have been done already, despite all the doubts that existed around technology and so on? So we have a first project that is live, that is being tested. It's part of the CTC initiative in France. It's by the Banque Postale. We have already cardholders doing transactions in the south of France with their mobile phones. Standard mobile phones without NFC, with the MicroSD. So thank you. I tried to be concise. I tried to be fast. But so thank you very much.
Dziękuję.